Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. I know some of you are in the middle of exams. Some of you are trying to move out, all of the things that are happening in May. And we're really grateful that you took the time to be with us today. So Kara and I, and we'll introduce ourselves in a second, but we are the Trinity Transfer Office. So Trinity is the College of Arts and Sciences at Duke. And our goal for today is just introduce ourselves, let you know kind of what the transfer office does, and give you a sense of very high level overview of what the transition to Duke looks like. We know some of you have already decided to come, and which we're super excited, and we know some of you are still trying to make a decision that's right for you, and so we want to make sure that you have the information that you need. You will have opportunities for many more sessions like this, as well as questions at the end. And yes, we are recording right now, but we'll turn the recordings off before the questions, and we'll also do a little bit of introduction of so you guys can get to know each other at the question section. So if you'll go to the next slide, please. So I am Claire Seibert. I am the Dean of Trinity. Oh, sorry, not the Dean of Trinity. I just gave myself a promotion. I am the Dean of Transfer in Trinity. And what that means is I work with all of the transfer students that are coming in from other institutions. We also work with any Duke student going out to take a transfer credit, like if they want to take something in the summer after they've started here. So we're thinking about all of the ways that you can apply non-Duke credits to your Duke degree. Today's focus obviously is transfer students, and just want to say off the top, congratulations for being admitted to Duke, and we really hope you will join us. We love working with transfer students, and the goal right now is to increase the transfer student population at Duke because transfer students have been so impactful in recent years. And so Kara and I just wanted to introduce ourselves and then talk a little bit about kind of what transfer student support looks like in general. So few items about me. I am a chemist. I did my doctoral work here at Duke a very long time ago. I've been in student support and administration for about 10 years now, and became the Dean of Transfer actually this in August when we started the transfer office, and we were able to actually launch the transfer office officially in December, and that's also when we brought in Kara, who will introduce herself in just a second. A couple other personal items. Like I said, I'm a chemist. I did my doctoral work at Duke. I went to Virginia Tech for undergrad. I have three little kids that keep me busy other than the transfer students. And in the question section, I'm happy to answer any personal questions that you have as well. So Carrie, you want to do your spiel?
Hi everyone, my name is Kara Connor. I use she, her pronouns. Some of you might have been emailing with me as I run the transfer student email. So if you've been sending any questions into that email, you're probably getting a response from me. But I serve as the project coordinator of transfer, which is just a title that kind of encompasses all things transfer credit, transfer support, within Trinity. So I do everything from supporting our transfer students in the transition to supporting them while they're already here at Duke with programs and events. And then I also work with anyone taking transfer credit outside of Duke and bringing that back to Duke. So kind of encompassing everything. And I help out Dean Siebert with getting everything supporting our transfer community. So if you have questions that we don't cover in this session or questions come up throughout the process, emailing the transfer student at duke.edu is going to be your quickest response rather than emailing either of us individually, just because we track everything within that inbox. So always feel free to email us at that. Even if it's a question our office might not oversee or be able to answer, we can direct you to the proper resource on campus. A little bit about me is I recently moved to North Carolina from Connecticut. So I got my master's degree in higher education at the University of Connecticut. And then I'm originally from Missouri and went to undergraduate at Missouri State University. So I've kind of lived all over I've worked in student activities and supports for students. And now I work with transfer students, and I love working with the transfer student community. So, first thing we kind of want to get into in our presentation is talking about how our office is here to support the transfer students at Duke. So one of the ways that we support our transfer student community is the evaluation of transfer credits. So I'm sure all of you have received emails from us about starting the preliminary evaluation process of your transfer credits to know how many of your credits will transfer over to Duke and what that process looks like, and also what they'll come into Duke as for credit. So the evaluation process we're not going to cover in the presentation today, specifics on it. We have a whole curriculum and evaluation process virtual session that you can attend that we can get really into what the curriculum requirements will be, how the evaluation process works. But the number one thing I want to emphasize in today's meeting is if you want an evaluation of your credits before you need to make a decision if you're coming to Duke, please fill out the preliminary evaluation form we sent out, as well as putting all your information into your box folder. And if you have any issues accessing your box folder, just email us and I can make sure that you have full access. But the evaluation of your preliminary evaluation is going to help give you a better idea of what credits you're going to be getting into Duke. And then over the summer, we'll give you a full evaluation of how those credits will transfer to certain courses at Duke. Next is we help support transfer programs and events. So that's one of the key things that I do in my role is supporting events and programs for our transfer students. And we hope for the fall semester to have programs and events helping support your transition to Duke, but also just to build community with other transfer students. So we see you all coming in as the fall 2026 cohort, but we have multiple different transfer cohorts here at Duke. And so we want you to be able to meet other transfer students that are outside of just the cohort that you meet coming in. So we host multiple events to help support community building within the Trinity transfer student community. One of the events that we just hosted this year was a picnic for our transfer students in Duke Gardens. So we bought lunch and all hung out and kind of just talked about ending the year where everyone was in the semester and the exciting things that our transfer student community is doing over the summer. So we are here to do supportive programs for our transfer student community.
Things that was the most fun about the picnic is that we had students that were at every stage of their Duke career and students that had started at different places in their Duke career. So we had students that had just arrived as sophomores, we had students that had just arrived as juniors, we had students that had already graduated, but one has stayed on to work on his master's, and then we had students that started as sophomores and started as juniors that are about to graduate tomorrow. So we had the like whole mix of what is, the variety that you can come in as and go out as. And so that was really nice for them to all get to meet each other because they were also in different disciplines. And so that's kind of the goal of providing this space for transfer students to really see the variety of journeys to Duke and through Duke that a transfer student can have. So another way that we offer support as a transfer office to the transfer students is connecting summer advising and what's happening with your credit evaluation and just all of your incoming transition questions to the more formal advising that you'll get either through the academic advising center or in your major. Those kind of happen later. So over the summer, we are your advising team and we're connecting you with people in the department to ask about placement for a class that you might need a prerequisite for, people that can help you think through all the different types of majors that you might want to do or how you might want to combine two interdisciplinary interests. And then we are also connecting you directly with if you're coming in as a sophomore, you'll be assigned a quad advisor based on housing. If you're coming in as a junior, you'll be assigned a major advisor. And what do all of those kind of resources on campus look like, starting with more of a centralized like transition support lens for your academic advising. The other thing that our office does is that we don't just hand you off to those advisors and, welcome you and then say, okay, good luck. We are a resource for you the whole time that you are here. And so we offer guidance on the curriculum across your time at Duke, the general education requirements in Trinity, which is called the Arts and Sciences curriculum. um, Major requirements, who do you talk to if you want to blend things together? And we work really closely. And I also serve as an academic dean. Every student gets an academic dean to help them make sure that they're on track each semester for graduation, and also connect you to resources if you fall ill, if you need to take a leave of absence, if you want to overload and take extra classes, if you want to change your major. That's the deaning side of things. So our office is really kind of the hub for connecting you to all of those different resources. Go on to the next slide, Karen. Perfect. So one of the things we wanted to emphasize today is all of you are coming and were chosen because of your different academic journeys and the different ways that you have engaged in college work thus far, as well as obviously your life stories. You're going to come to Duke, and there's an infinite number of ways that you can move through Duke, and your journey at Duke will be different. Many of the transfer students say you have to pave your own way at Duke, and we really see that as an opportunity. Because you might want to have a quantitative science minor and a humanities major and do some natural science research on the side, and you want to go into consulting, right? Like there's many different ways that you can combine your academics as well as your outside of the class experiences to create your own experience at Duke. And that um, is something that transfer students do really well. You've already gone through the process of going to college somewhere and deciding that you need to go on your own journey. And so transfer students are very engaged and do a really great job at paving their own way at Duke.
And something when talking about the transfer student community that I think is really important to highlight about Duke's transfer student community is our transfer students are leaders across campus. So ways that this shows up is our transfer students represent in the orientation leaders, which is a really sought after leadership role on campus. Our transfer students are engaged in research, and this starts even in their first semester at Duke. As Dean Seibert highlighted, it is really a great opportunity for someone who is passionate and coming into Duke with a specific interest, and they get engaged in research really early on. And we have faculty that are looking for transfer students who want to be engaged in research and their majors early in their Duke career. We also have transfer students who are award recipients. We joke in our office that every time an email comes out with a student being recognized for something or award recipients, transfer students are often represented on those lists. And our transfer students are doing so many amazing things across campus, but also being recognized for the work that they are doing across campus. Our transfer student community is also very diverse within majors of interest, within the education fields that they came into, coming from other institutions into Duke. We have so many different universities represented, so many different perspectives represented within our transfer student community. So our transfer students are educators, journalists, creatives, and they're all looking for different ways to get involved in the community. And I think something so great about our transfer students is every transfer student's journey to Duke is so different, but also the pathway that they pave here at Duke is so different. And I think that is one of the things that makes our community so special and why we both love working with transfer students is because our transfer students are a very engaged community and very interested and passionate about the work and their experience while they are at Duke. So besides learning about our office and how you can connect with the transfer office and the resources that we can provide, there's so many other resources and ways to get connected to Duke's campus. So one of the ones that we wanted to highlight is student organizations. There's several student organizations that you can look to be engaged in once you transfer to Duke. And they cover everything from major interests to just personal interests. And so there's so much organization support that you can engage in as a transfer student. Another way is Project Transfer. That is our orientation experience for our transfer students. It is run by current transfer students and full of multiple transfer student orientation leaders to help support you in the transition and journey into Duke. This happens before your first day of classes. So after you move on campus, you'll start project transfer. And it's a really great way to learn about Duke, but also through a transfer student perspective, which I think is really important and something great that our orientation, our new student family program office does to help students transition. And then we also have the Transfer Student Union, which is our transfer student specific organization. So it is run by transfer students and they do programs for transfer students across campus. So outside the programs that our office helps host and support, they do more social programs for you to connect with the transfer student community. And the also great thing about the Transfer Student Union is it isn't only Trinity transfer students, but also Pratt transfer students as well. So you can meet students across Duke's campus. And then lastly, faculty support. So our faculty is very excited to be engaged with our students and the community that our transfer community brings. And so faculty will definitely be excited to support you in your transition and journey into Duke, and they are a great resource to connect to. If you want to learn more about Trinity's academics, get connected to faculty before making your decision. There is an event on May 12th that highlights the academics and learning more about Trinity's academic requirements and just how to get engaged in the academic sphere and getting connected with faculty. And you can also meet some Trinity faculty. So we encourage you to go to that session on May 12th as that is a really great way to learn more about the faculty experience.
So there's actually two events on May 12th, and we just want to highlight that. One is another one with Kara and I, and is that at 12? Is that correct, Kara, I believe? And that's more the evaluation process and the Trinity Arts and Sciences curriculum. And then in the afternoon is the Gary Bennett is the dean of Trinity College, and the one I just tried to take his job earlier. So the dean of Trinity College and several other famous administrators in Trinity College, as well as a whole bunch of department chairs and faculty that are interested in mentoring transfer students. And there'll be breakout rooms, so you can meet with them as well. We will also do the curriculum presentation from Kara and I again at least once more before you have to make your decision by June 1st. So before we turn off the cameras and step into questions and have you guys have a chance to get to know you, we just want to really celebrate the fact that you have the opportunity to come to Duke, that we are excited for you to come to Duke, and there's some really awesome transfer students to meet once you get here, as well as all of the regular students that start in their first year, where it's a place where transfer students are much more visible than they have been in the past and are really making waves. And so we want to help you make the best decision for you around, is this the right place for you, and what would your Duke journey look like when if you decide to join us. Thank you for attending, and we'll go ahead and turn off the recording at this point.